Hello Aries, thank you so much for checking out my channel here at Reflexive Moon Tarot. I'm Sarah, and I am hosting this reading, channeling energy that is centered in new moon time with Sagittarius and Capricorn being the spaces that the moon is moving through. So it's also during solstice time. So there's lots of like low light type of energy where it's kind of like a reboot, or if you think about restarting your laptop or your computer or your phone, like resetting of the things. Also letting go of things that no longer serve you, making space for new things. And I don't know, like with Sagittarius and Capricorn, you know, Sages, they're positive traits. So like making space for these new positive traits that are centered in positive forms of detachment, like freedom and what else? Humor. Sages have a great sense of humor, and they have a lot of fiery energy that they like to put in into good service. So you know, as an Aries, like that's something that you can definitely, you know, work on, maybe letting go of egocentric energy for the purpose of putting your energy into more service oriented type of things. And with that Capricorn energy, it's about doing hard, you know, putting in the work. And that might not be an issue for you with all of the energy that you have as an Aries. But also just really loving what you do, being important, being more important than how you look, I would say. That's something that like might be a little bit more digestible or relevant to the Aries personality. So with that, let's get into your reading. So, what's up with the Aries? We have the Two of Cups. So, the Two of Cups is balance, emotional energy, the type of emotional energy that, you know, really sort of allows for, like, this is great energy to fuel, like, you know, death card type of energy. So I don't know if that might not make sense to you, but it's more like life and death, where, you know, you have the emotional capacity to deal with new life as well as you know, the things that are moving out of our lives. So balance is key to maintaining, you know, the natural things that occur within our life cycle. And that's what the Two of Cups speaks to. So that is at the core of your concern, is how are you going to balance your emotions to be able to cope through all of the things that we, you know, are faced with, that we have to process emotionally, instead of like crying over spilt milk, as opposed to, you know, sort of like not staying strong, but like authentically expressing your emotions and knowing how to cope with processing them. That's kind of a big deal. You know, a lot of people are not socialized effectively. Oh, speaking of spilt milk, we got some cards that went all over the place here. So let's put those ones back, because they are not pulled with my consent. Ooh. 10 of Wands reversed. There's something that you're not letting go of. You got either, okay, so either you are not, like, you're holding on to too much. You're not letting go of what it is that you need to let go to move forward in terms of your goals, and getting yourself in a place where you can even begin to set new ones. Or you've basically, it's a facade, what it is that you've worked for up until this point. It's false. You're not even, like, you're not carrying a load. There's no load. So if this applies to you, then it will make sense. If not, then it's not for you. You know, this new moon might be very critical to you understanding the nature and dynamics of the burdens that you bear. Maybe you're not acknowledging the burdens that you bear. Maybe you're not acknowledging the burdens that people bear, and really kind of, I don't feel like that's the case though. I feel like it's really, you're not acknowledging the burdens that you bear. You've never really gotten over them, and you've never come to terms with your defects of character, perhaps, the things that hold you back from moving forward. This can be, you know, big ticket items, like things that, you know, are really sort of at the core of why you do fucked up shit, or why fucked up shit happens to you. Or, like, if you've done that work already, this is just like you not acknowledging some shit that you've been through recently and how it's taken its toll on the load that you carry. So emotional balance being at the core, like, I really feel like that's either what you need to look at, or it's what you're activating right now, trying to hold things together. And I think it might be a good idea, if you are really, you know, working hard to hold things together, to give yourself a break, to look at what it is that you need to repurpose to move forward. Okay, so we have the Nine of Pentacles, because you're not happy. You're either unhappy with what it is that you're doing, unhappy with, I don't know if it's the amount of money that you make right now you might be unhappy with. You might sort of be feeling like you're chained down to what it is that you need to do. You're really attached to money. You could be superficial on some level, where money and it's not in a good, it's like in a bad way, superficial, like really looking for fast money, like just like you're like the work that you've done so far and your ability to manifest money is not grounded in any type of way. It's like you're always pulling everything out of your ass and staying afloat in that way that is not sustainable. Or this could also mean that whatever you've been through recently is really just making it very difficult to enjoy what it is that you're doing in order to sustain yourself. And that sounds more realistic, but it can go either way. I feel like there's probably more than one Aries that might check this out, I'm hoping. So it can apply to several of you. Okay, so in your past, you have really kind of been in a place where you've turned around it's hard to say. So either in your past, you have not acknowledged the fact that you've numbed out to a lot of things, a lot of shit that you've been through, or also in your past, you've really, like, you've been dealing with the issues that you have, you know, issues of, it's almost like you've just been like preserving yourself and trying to deal with your negative core beliefs, your issues, and you've done that work instead of remaining in a state of numbness and like sort of, it's like an icy heart with the four of cups, but it's reversed. So you've done the work to sort of warm up. The High Priestess. So there's somebody that is coming through in your near future who has a good and solid understanding of what's sacred, of, like water teachings, understanding sacred feminine, cycles of Venus as well. which is very centered in women's energy. Uh, and not necessarily like women's energy, like the woman's body, but it can also be like it can be anything. It's not like it has nothing to do with what's going on between a person's leg. It's how they identify. So so understanding what it is to walk with a very powerful feminine energy within a person's psyche. What else? That could also be you acknowledging your feminine side and just not being afraid to um, not being afraid to express your feminine traits, finding strength in what you've learned from perhaps even like matriarchs in your family. So just really acknowledging and understanding the sacredness of women, the embodiment of women. Um, I mean, maybe not so much the embodiment of women, but the sacredness of feminine energy. The embodiment of women is more so moving up to the Empress card, but you know, the High Priestess definitely is a recognizer of that, the sacredness of that raw feminine energy. That's not necessarily fixed into a gender. We have the star. So the star of the show, you know who you are, Aries. That is your jam, knowing that you are the star of the show. uh, balance of give and take. So that's something that you have a good attitude about, balance of give and take. For the most part. Not always the case for every single Aries, but if you have a good understanding of like having hope is very sort of at the core of that balance of give and take. Maintaining hope that life will go on, that you'll carry on, you know, until you to hit that supernova stage that, you know, takes a millennia to get to. So, within your environment, people see that you are unhappy, that you feel like you're not satisfied, you've not experienced that emotional wish fulfillment. So, you could be you could be single and lonely, or just like alone, okay with yourself, maybe not feeling super lonely, but also not content. Like you know that being alone is not for you, and it's not like where you'll end up, most likely. It's not where you want to end up, at least. This is not something that you want to do till the end, right? And you have hopes to meet this fabulous individual. Maybe you've already met this fabulous individual. It's entirely possible and probable. But either way, like your family situation, where it's at right now, people know that it is not where you want to be. That it's not what's making you happy. And like you could even like it could even be sadness within the family. Like there could be grief happening. This, you know, you can stretch the 10 being in this spot. There are plenty of reasons why people may see you as not being happy and feeling like your dreams have come true. Because life happens and it interrupts that feeling constantly. So, okay. We have the 8 of Swords reversed. So you don't, like, you really hope to see a way out of whatever distasteful things are happening in your life. You see a way out of whatever is making you feel like you're trapped. You really hope, like whatever's sucking your energy, you hope to be done with it. Whatever cycle is like really taking up all of your energy. And it sounds like it's like a natural cycle of life. It could also be natural in a sense that it is only natural based on what you've experienced up until this point. It may not be natural if you continue on within this cycle repeating it. So how can you stop that? And this is the card saying that you hope to get out of that cycle. And it sounds like justice is going to be at the core of that. So what does justice look like for you? Is it being open and honest about wrongs that you've done? Are you actually, like, the things that might make you unhappy, is it something that you, like, I don't want to say deserve, but how can you do justice in this situation? So for the person that is, like, for whoever's watching this that is, really having a hard time letting go of sort of shady behavior, freeloading, or just really manipulating people in order to, for material gain, like, justice has to look like something. And it's kind of like, this is like the reap what you sow type of card. But also, like, what does justice look like if you've been through, if, like, you're grief stricken on some level? Doing yourself justice, giving yourself the time that you need to overcome your sorrow, and also justice for whoever was wronged. Justice can be such a huge thing too. Cutting your losses and moving on to something different is also centered in this act of justice. So with that, Aries, thank you so much for checking out my channel. If this does resonate, please do hit that like and subscribe. It really helps to, get the algorithms moving me through other people's feeds and growing my channel. So really appreciate it. Take care and bye for now.